The drawings come from images, and the images are things that I might have found anywhere in magazines, newspapers, images that I've taken myself, and then it's very much about there's something about this image that's attracted me to it, and then I'll draw that image a few times, and then from the drawings I'll make the paintings. So the paintings themselves are then, for me, very much about exploring a kind of psychological space and about creating a kind of atmosphere. So it's not necessarily about what's depicted there, but using what's depicted there as a vehicle for describing this space or interior landscape to some degree, interior space. The images can really vary from one another, and some of them it might be, so here it might be something like the colour that's attracted me to it, or here it might be something really formal, just like the way that these lines intersect, or you know, sometimes, quite often, it's a kind of formal element. It all feels part of a similar sensibility or a similar concern. It's almost like if you imagine like a well of water and you take a cup out of the water, it's sort of essentially from the same source but a different composition each time. I do have an affinity towards certain colours, and I think that's probably just is a very intuitive thing that's maybe quite hard to dissect really, but I think for me there's often a lot of reds and pinks in my work, and I think part of it is because I am interested in, even when a work is abstract, I'm interested in its relationship to something physical and to the body. You know, it's almost like a trace of somebody having been there, or it's a stain, or the paint itself, if you were just to look at that section, could almost just be like a bruise. So I think I'm interested in using colour in a way that it maybe looks like skin, or it looks like something that could be quite lived in. Quite often in my work there's something that's quite modelled about it, you know, it could be physical structure. And I think it's also, going back to this idea of it being very process-based, I quite often will leave spaces empty, or areas like this cutout area where you can kind of bear witness to the history of how the painting was made. So there's quite a lot of underpainting that shows, yeah, that history, that kind of layering process that happens through the process of painting, really. With an image, you just have this one physical space in order to make a sense of time and create a sense of space. So I think that's, and when I talk about space, for me that's really not physical space in the painting, but a sort of psychological space that maybe the viewer and the painter and the artist all share to some extent. I don't know if I strive to have the painting work and to have it locked together.